Friend, you are incredibly blessed to be seeing this. Do you realize what just happened the very second your eyes found these exact words? Heaven aligned time itself to bring you here. You didn't just stumble across this video. This message was sent straight to you. Jesus has been watching the quiet ache in your spirit. Those heavy moments when you whisper, "Lord, if you can hear me, please give me a sign." The strike here is your sign. Open your heart today, because what is about to happen in your life is anything but ordinary. It is the movement of heaven itself. Your spiritual breakthrough is rushing toward you faster than you can even imagine. Even as you listen right now, something unseen is shifting. The very atmosphere around you has already started to change. Those heavy chains you didn't even realize you carried are finally breaking. This isn't just wishful thinking. It is divine orchestration. Your appointed moment delivered right here. You think you're just watching, but God is visiting you. His holy presence fills this very moment, breaking through all your doubt and utter exhaustion. He chose this exact hour to speak because your heart is finally ready to receive what He has been preparing for you all along. You are standing right on the edge of transformation. The painful waiting season that felt absolutely endless is now turning into a fulfilled promise. That fierce storm that threatened to pull you under is about to reveal a blessing you never saw coming. This is no ordinary message. It is the sound of your divine destiny approaching. You and I have prayed for that peace, and heaven has already sent out your answer. Please don't let your mind dismiss what your spirit already senses is true. That sudden stirring in your chest right now is the Holy Spirit confirming that your breakthrough has officially started. I want you to listen to this, not just with your ears, but with your soul. There is a real reason your path led you here. The purpose why you stopped on this video instead of just scrolling past. God drew you close today because a blessing long held back is finally being released in your favor. For months, you felt like you were stumbling through thick fog, tired, uncertain, completely unseen. But let me tell you, that fog is lifting. The winds of change are blowing your way, and they are carrying real miracles. What felt delayed was never denied. It was simply waiting for perfect divine timing, and that time is right now. Friend, even as you take a breath, God is moving invisible mountains. Those prayers that felt ignored were just gathering power in the silence. Now they are exploding into action. You and I will look back on this very day and say, that was the moment everything shifted. So please, do not question why you ended up here. You are here because the Lord called you. You are here to be reminded that your powerful story is nowhere near finish. You are here because heaven wanted to speak your name once more. You are incredibly blessed. Not with worldly luck, but because you are chosen, seen, and perfectly aligned. What other people call random coincidence, God calls a sacred covenant. What they call random, He calls remembered. Every single step bringing you here was guided by His hand. He has been orchestrating your encounters, completely rerouting your plans, even allowing those painful delays just to bring you where your human faith and His promise finally meet. None of this is an accident. This is the beautiful unfolding of grace written before time even began. Listen closely to me, because this is sacred ground. The veil between heaven and your reality is incredibly thin right now. God is pouring fresh favor into the spaces that always felt empty. He is breathing new life into the dreams you buried. He is restoring broken relationships, healing painful memories, and sparking hope. You've wondered why you feel that shift in the air, that quiet restlessness you just couldn't name. It is because the spiritual breakthrough that belongs to you is already moving. Like the very first light before dawn, it is already on its way. Every single obstacle blocking your path is losing its grip. Every locked door is shaking at His holy command. What He is bringing you cannot be stopped by people, time, or fear. You are walking into a blessed season that will completely redefine your life. Pause for a second and feel this truth. God is here. Right here. Right now. This holy presence surrounds you. He is wrapping you in the exact same love that formed the stars. The same power that conquered death. The same grace that never runs dry. What we are sharing isn't just information. It is divine impartation. It is the absolute transfer of peace, the ignition of faith. This is the announcement that your waiting is finally over. I'm sharing these exact words to tell you, look up, what we've been praying for is already in motion. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you haven't even entered yet. Doors are opening that you haven't even knocked on. Those blessings you thought were gone forever are finding their way back. God is reversing what was unfair and redeeming everything that was broken. He is releasing what was held back. Don't doubt this moment, friend. Don't let fear torque you out of what your faith has already secured. The fact that you're hearing this is proof that breakthrough you've been crying out for is already working toward you. You might not see it with your own eyes yet, but in the spiritual world, it is already a done deal. The angels assigned to your destiny are carrying it right now. That's why you feel a stirring in your spirit. The pull of something so much greater waking up inside. He is breathing new strength into you, new vision, new confidence. You aren't forgotten. You are deeply favored. You aren't falling behind. You are right on time, and you certainly aren't empty-handed. You're being prepared to receive an absolute overflow. Remember this truth. When God decides to move, it doesn't happen slowly. The very same God who spoke light into existence with one word is the same God declaring your breakthrough today. That word is being spoken over your life this very second. Heaven is lining up, earth is responding, and your spirit is waking up. Say in this moment, let all that fear fall away. Open your heart and receive it. You and I are so blessed to share this because the promise attached to this message has your name on it. And as surely as you're hearing these words right now, your breakthrough is already heading toward you. Listen closely, friend, because he is speaking with purpose, clarity, and a deep love that goes way beyond what our hearts can understand. He placed this message in front of you himself. Not just an angel, not a coincidence, not some random moment in your day. It was his hand, his perfect timing, and his intentional move that stopped you here. You might think you were just scrolling. You think you were just passing time, but I'm telling you, he guided your exact steps to this very moment. He planted this message like a seed in your path just so your spirit would recognize his voice the second you heard these words. You are here because heaven wanted you right here. You are here because God wanted you here. There is absolutely no accident in this encounter. This is a divine appointment crafted with eternal precision. Type Amen in the comments. Say, I surrender everything. Lord, I place my life in your hands. Friend, you and I have both spent so long wondering if God still speaks to us. Wondering if he still sees the pain behind our silence. If he notices the tears we wipe away so nobody else can see them. And so today, he comes closer than ever just to whisper straight into the core of your being. He says, I see you. I know you. I have never lost sight of you. He put this message here because you needed to hear it right now. Not tomorrow. Not when life gets easy. Right in the middle of your confusion, your exhaustion, your frustration, and all those hidden battles. He wanted these words to meet you exactly where you are because your heart just can't carry that heavy weight alone anymore. You've been trying to stay strong for way too long. Now he's here to remind you that you never had to be strong without him. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't random. This is not just luck. This is God's divine orchestration moving in real time. Heaven has already started shifting things around in your life. Even before you heard this, while you were sleeping, God was working. While you were tossing and turning, he was rearranging. While you felt completely forgotten, he was preparing. Listen, you have no idea the sheer size of what has already begun. You can feel the stirring. You sense the shift. Something deep inside has been restless. It's like your spirit is trying to warn you that something unseen is finally approaching. Something that your mind can't even describe yet. But your heart keeps reaching. That very thing is what he is revealing right now. Heaven is already moving on your behalf. Angels have been dispatched. Those prayers we thought went unanswered were actually just gathering power in the silence. Doors you assumed were shut tight were just being positioned waiting to swing open at the exact second he commands. We often see delay, but God sees preparation. We see silence, but he sees perfect alignment. You might see endless obstacles right now, but God is carving a perfect path forward for you. Listen to me, my friend. The Creator hasn't wasted a thing. Not one tear, loss, disappointment, or single moment of pure confusion. He has gathered every broken piece, every lonely night, and every quiet prayer, and he is shaping them into something truly beautiful that's just starting to unfold. You and I need to understand something deep today. Something your soul craves. This very moment is a turning point. Not just a minor shift, not a quick pep talk or a temporary boost. This is a divine pivot in your life. Everything before today was just God's preparation for what is coming next. This exact message marks the place where your whole life starts changing direction. You might not feel it fully quite yet, but your spirit knows. That is exactly why you were drawn here. It is why something pushed you to keep listening. Why you sensed something truly sacred the second this video began. Because heaven marks our turning points differently than this world does. The world demands massive events and loud dramatic signs. But God speaks to us through simple moments like this. Quiet, but powerful. Simple, yet eternal, and deeply transformative. This is the exact moment that heavyweight starts lifting. This is where your peace and clarity finally return. The crushing heaviness you've been carrying is finally breaking. You have been trudging through a season that felt confusing, uncertain, and completely draining. You really doubted yourself. You questioned your direction. You wondered why certain things just completely fell apart. You wondered why people you trusted drifted away. Why doors slammed shut with zero explanation. You asked God why you were left holding so much deep pain in your heart. And even though you could not hear him then, God saw every single anxious thought inside you. He put this message right in front of you because his answers are spilling into your spirit now. You and I both know heaven never moves without a reason. God doesn't interrupt your day without pure intention. When he reaches out like this, change is imminent. It means your long-awaited breakthrough is incredibly near. Everything you thought was falling apart was actually falling into divine alignment. You really need to know this isn't just a bunch of words. It is a spiritual shift disguised as a video. Every sentence carries a piece of the blessing God is releasing over your life. You might feel warmth in your chest, a sudden calm wrapping around you, or a deep stirring that you simply cannot explain. That is his very presence unfolding divine will in real time. He placed this message before you because your spirit is ready, and heaven has already begun to move. My friend, you've been standing right at the edge of a breakthrough without even realizing it. You have been feeling the heavy pressure, the discomfort, the stretching. You honestly thought something was broken, but the truth is, something was growing. The breakthrough always brings intense pressure before the final release. New seasons always demand harsh endings before beautiful beginnings. You have been shedding things you no longer need, maybe without even noticing. You've been losing connections that simply couldn't survive where God is taking you next. You have been outgrowing places that once fit perfectly, but now only restrict your spirit. That is why you felt totally out of place, disconnected, and confused transitioning without a clear map because you were, and God is confirming it for you right now. The transition is real, and the breakthrough is speeding toward you. You and I both know the frustration of wondering why things suddenly stopped working like they used to. Why doors that once opened easily now stay shut. Why great opportunities vanished into thin air. Why your heart felt pulled away from certain friends, familiar habits, and comfortable places. My friend, it's simply because God is redirecting you. Those doors did not close to punish you. They closed for your protection. The opportunities that fell through didn't fail. God removed them because they would have stunted your growth. The relationships that fell apart didn't just collapse. They lifted them out of your path so you wouldn't drag dead weight into your brand new season. Everything that left you was making room for God's promise. Please support our channel. Our whole mission is to bring hope to your life and devotion to God. If this helped, consider a super thanks to support our work. What I'm bringing is far greater than anything you have lost. Heaven has already started the shift. Things are lining up behind the scenes even if you can't see them yet. I'm positioning people right now that you haven't even met. Divine conversations are being set up. Closed doors are unlocking and delayed blessings are finally flowing. Your name is being spoken in rooms you don't even know about yet. My favor is rising around you like a tide. These blessings aren't just going to trickle down. They are going to pour. That's exactly why you and I crossed paths today. You need to know you're stepping into a brand new chapter written directly by my hand. This massive turning point isn't just in your head. It is completely divine. Every heavy feeling you carried, all those quiet spiritual nudges deep down, the intense dreams, the restless nights, the deep ache for something more, it all actually meant something. It was all leading right here to this exact turning point today. The sacred crossroad where my voice meets your destiny and my solid promise meets your faith. So, take a deep breath, my friend. Let my truth settle in and calm those rising fears. Let my peace wash away your anxious thoughts. Heaven is shifting right now. Your story and your future are shifting fast. And this message is your first real sign of what's coming next. I put this right in front of you because you needed to hear it today. You're ready. The turning point is here. Stick with me. There is so much more. Listen closely to me now because what we are about to uncover is a heavy burden you have carried in absolute silence for way too long. I don't speak to you as some distant observer. I'm the one working right beside you through every single hidden moment. The one watching the brutal quiet battles nobody else even notices. I absorb the crushing weight of your unspoken pain daily. You've become an absolute master at appearing completely strong, but I see right beneath the surface into those dark places you avoid. I know the heavy sadness you carry when the world sleeps and thoughts echo. I know the hard questions haunting your spirit, the deep fears you bury, the quiet tears you frantically wipe away before anyone notices. Nothing is hidden from me, my friend. Not your exhaustion or those moments you wondered if you'd ever be whole again. You have survived nights where the silence actually felt suffocating, where the intense loneliness pressed in like a heavy weight, and you cried out, Lord, where are you? Do you even see me? And even when heaven seemed silent, I was standing closer to you than your very own heartbeat. I sat right beside you when you curled up, desperately trying to hold your broken pieces together. I was watching over you while you stared blindly into the dark, wondering how you could possibly keep going. I saw the war inside your mind, the swirling doubts, the panic, and that sudden creeping heaviness. I saw you press your hands against your face, whispering broken prayers that felt way too small for heaven to ever notice. But I heard every single one, every faint whisper, every sigh, every tremble. You've bravely worked through storms you never mention. You felt totally abandoned by the exact people who promised to stay. You and I both know you've carried heavy burdens you were never meant to hold alone. You survived hits that would have destroyed anyone else, but you just minimized your struggle, thinking you had absolutely no choice but to push forward. You forced yourself to believe you were fine, that you'd recover, and that the pain truly wasn't as bad as it felt. But I saw the ugly truth. I saw the massive weight on your chest making it impossible to breathe. I saw the bitter disappointment carving away at your heart after every single betrayal. I watched the deep hurt you pretended to ignore and the burning anger you swallowed until it became pure exhaustion. I saw how you forced a bright smile while your spirit was secretly shattering behind closed doors. So, listen to me. Let's process this together. None of your pain was ever invisible to me. Music, not one single tear fell without landing directly in my hands. Those lonely nights never went unnoticed. Not a single moment of your utter exhaustion escaped my attention. I watched over you in the darkest valleys, carrying you safely through brutal battles nobody else even knew were happening. There were moments you thought you were going crazy, right? The spiritual pressure just felt entirely too heavy. The dark heaviness crashed down on you for zero reason, and you wondered why your mood flipped from perfect calm to absolute chaos. You felt attacked when all you wanted was peace. My beloved, none of those moments were random flukes. They were targeted spiritual attacks designed to drain your energy, crush your spirit, and completely silence your faith. The enemy came directly after you because of your divine calling, because of your destiny, because of the raw strength that placed inside your soul, even when you couldn't see it. That's why those sudden waves of sadness hit you. That is exactly why unexplained fear suddenly spiked. Confusion clouded your choices. Your mind felt completely under siege, like invisible hands were dragging you down into despair. These weren't just bad moods or emotional struggles. They were actual spiritual battles. You have been fighting a war your physical eyes cannot even see, yet you blamed yourself, convinced something was broken inside you. Hear me, nothing is wrong with you, my child. You felt that crushing pressure because your breakthrough was close. The enemy sensed the massive blessing I was about to release. Darkness always launches its worst attack right before the morning light breaks through. Please understand this truth. That heavy burden did not mean you were weak or failing. It meant you were targeted because you were chosen. The enemy didn't strike because you were falling apart, but because you were rising up. That deep heady exhaustion didn't mean you were broken. It meant I was preparing you for a divine purpose far bigger than you ever imagined. Every spiritual fight proves your life carries serious purpose. A purpose the dark side has been terrified of since the very day you were born. You and I both know those days. Suffocating under a mountain of responsibilities you never even asked for, carrying heavy burdens without a single person offering real support, feeling totally invisible to the very people who should care. You tried so hard to keep it all together, even while your own heart felt like it was unraveling thread by painful thread. You begged God for strength, but only felt weaker. You asked for clear vision, but mental fog just wrapped tightly around every single thought. You pleaded for a little peace, but chaos erupted without warning. Yet through all that brutal pain, you just kept moving. You kept trying, kept believing, even when it felt like your faith was hanging by one fragile thread. Listen to me now. This is what you must know. None of your agonizing pain was ever wasted. Not one tear. Every wound was actively shaping you. Every harsh loss softened your heart and built real, deep compassion. Every single heartbreak trained you to recognize truly genuine love. The letdowns taught you sharp discernment, and those silent lonely tears, they watered the seeds of real strength inside you. Nothing you endured was an accident. Not one struggle you faced was meaningless. I have used every single step of your journey, especially the painful ones, to prepare you for what comes next. You thought you were completely alone in that dark valley, but I was right there. When you were too exhausted to speak, I prayed over you. When your legs gave out, I held you upright. When you wanted to quit, I whispered quiet hope straight into your spirit. When your human heart shattered, mine broke right alongside yours. When you felt completely empty, I secretly poured fresh strength into your soul. When you went completely numb, that was me protecting you from feeling emotions that were way too heavy to carry all at once. While you tossed and turned, fighting nightmares in your sleep, I stood guard, keeping your soul out of the enemy's reach. You have never worked a single second alone. I saw the nights you sobbed into your pillow just so nobody else would hear. The days you faked a smile just because you refused to be a burden to anyone else. The moments you felt guilty for being utterly exhausted, shamed for feeling overwhelmed, and totally frustrated that you weren't stronger. We all hide our pain, terrified people will judge or abandon us if they see our mess. So, you locked your struggle behind a thick wall of silence. But I saw it all. I witnessed every single time you wanted to scream, but forced yourself to swallow the pain instead. I was there during those sleepless agonizing nights when your own anxious thoughts tortured you. God saw how you held your breath just to keep yourself from falling apart. And friend, this heart ached for you every single time. Type amen if God has ever stepped in and healed your broken heart. You've walked through dark storms that should have ruined you. Yet, you're still standing here. You've survived spiritual battles meant to take you out entirely. But, look at you. You kept pushing forward when your whole body screamed to quit. That toughness isn't an accident. It's the exact strength God planted deep inside you way before you ever knew you'd need it. You carry so much more courage than you realize. You have way more endurance than you did yourself credit for. Your faith is actually stronger than you even think. You fought quiet battles that made heaven cheer. Because even when your knees buckle, your spirit absolutely refused to give up. Listen to me now. God isn't bringing up these past struggles to make you feel ashamed or guilty about your journey. He wants you to see just how fiercely He loves you. He worked right beside you through every single dark valley. The Lord held you when nobody else knew you were crying. He fought for you when you had zero strength left to fight for yourself. God healed deep wounds you never told anyone about. He comforted you when you felt completely hollow. He kept you breathing when the darkness tried to take you out entirely. God stood between you and total ruin more times than you will ever realize. Every silent struggle has set you up for a massive spiritual breakthrough. Those quiet tears you cried alone, God turned them into seeds of absolute victory. That heavy pain you carried is just preparation for a season of overflowing blessings. Nothing in your painful past was wasted. Not one single moment, emotion, or fallen tear. Friend, the Creator saw it all. He carried it all. And right now, He is about to redeem every bit of it. Listen closely, friend. You and I need to unpack this together. Because understanding God's timing explains why so much of your life felt blocked, completely paused, or painfully delayed. You've probably asked the same thing I did. Lord, why is this taking so long? Why hasn't it happened yet? Why is everyone else getting blessed while I'm stuck waiting? Well, God heard every single one of those frustrated questions. Not a single tear was ignored. Not one of your anxious cries went unheard. Today, we're uncovering the real reason behind those long delays. God wasn't punishing you. The wait wasn't a sign God left you. It was pure divine protection. It was all part of a perfect plan, moving with precision we just couldn't understand back then. God's delays aren't denials. They are His shields. Honestly, if God had handed you certain blessings too early, the weight would have crushed you instead of lifting you up. You weren't ready. Music not because you lacked worth, but because the people and places around you weren't safe for that specific blessing yet. Certain doors stayed shut because behind them were hidden traps, major distractions, and fake opportunities designed to ruin you. People you desperately wanted around were removed because they would have sabotaged your promised blessing. Places you really wanted to enter were blocked off because they would have just drained your spirit and damaged your faith. Think about the seasons you begged the Lord to force open a path that He, with His eternal vision, knew was packed with hidden pain. So, He made you wait. He held you back from things that would have destroyed you. He slowed situations down on purpose because divine protection usually just looks like a frustrating delay. Heaven was never silent during those moments. God was working behind the scenes, aligning your path in ways that took time and careful orchestration your human eyes just couldn't see yet. You honestly thought nothing was happening, but everything was happening. The Lord was busy softening hearts in places you'd eventually walk into. He was shifting people around so that by the time you arrive, the right doors would just swing open. God was quietly removing people who meant you harm. He was building opportunities that only grow in deep seasons of stillness. He was shaping situations so perfectly matched to your destiny that taking a shortcut would have ruined everything. You weren't waiting for the blessings to be created. Those blessings were just waiting for you to be ready. Major spiritual battles were being fought in the unseen. Fights you never even noticed because God shielded you from the brutal weight of them. Dark forces actively tried to block your forward progress. They tried to sow confusion and completely drain your strength, hoping you'd walk away from God's path. The deep spiritual heaviness you felt at times was real. That sudden panic, the heavy sadness you cannot explain, the crushing weight and pure exhaustion. These are just the echoes of a fierce spiritual battle. But listen, I stood between you and total ruin. I sent my angels to fight when you were simply too exhausted to pray. They pushed back forces trying to crush your faith. They watched your every step when you had no idea you were under attack. When you thought I was silent, I was protecting you. Your painful waiting was actually spiritual warfare. What felt like a massive delay was actually your victory being locked down in the unseen. Now, my child, let us look a little deeper together. Your heart needed real time to grow strong enough for the blessing I built for you. You have no idea how much this painful waiting changed you. You grew wise. You see things clearly now. Your spirit toughened up. Your faith rooted deeper. Your heart learned true compassion. Your bounce back got stronger. You finally started knowing my heart in ways you never could if I just handed you an easy life. This waiting season taught you to lean entirely on me, not on people, passing situations, or your shifting feelings. You learned to stand up when you felt weak. You learned to trust my hand even when you could not trace my steps. You finally learned your real strength comes entirely from my spirit living inside you. If I gave you exactly what you asked for back then, you would have dragged your old bleeding wounds into brand new blessings. You would have dragged toxic people right into your promised land. You would have settled for a tiny fraction of what I actually plan. You would have mistaken a quick fix for your lifelong purpose. You would have handed your precious heart over to people who were never strong enough to hold it. I held back because I love you way too much to let you walk into tomorrow unprepared. You were growing in the dark where you could not feel it, building spiritual muscle completely hidden from your eyes, turning into the exact person who can handle the massive blessing I'm handing you. And now, my beautiful child, your time is finally here. Not by some random luck, not by hustling hard. This is the exact moment heaven has been setting up for you. This is the second your entire story starts making sense. The painful delay is completely over. Your waiting season did its job. You are finally ready. What looked completely dead is moving again. The heavy doors that were locked are swinging wide open. The silence is turning into a massive shift. The impossible is lining up for you. I have personally declared it. This is your divine appointed season. You just stepped into a sacred window where your entire life can flip overnight. Out of nowhere, powerfully, everything I was shaping in the dark is stepping right into the light. You and I both know you can feel the deep stirring inside today. A real sense of motion. A deep breath of peace. A steady knowing right in your chest. That is my spirit proving to you your massive breakthrough is not just on the way. It is here. Those brutal delays were just laying the concrete for today. Every single tear you cried was just watering the seeds that are finally breaking ground. Those exhausting fights built the muscle you need to carry this new weight of blessing. It is no accident you are hearing my words right now. I pulled you right to this spot. This is exactly why my voice is calling out to the most broken, hidden pieces of your heart. You are standing at the exact crossroads of my perfect timing and fulfilled promises. Every single thing I held back, I'm dropping right now. Everything I guarded you against, I'm replacing with gold. Whatever the enemy stole, I'm paying back in full. My child, your miracle was never actually denied. It was just poured so it would land perfectly. A true blessing, not a heavy burden. A massive harvest, not broken scraps. Right now is the moment. This is a great shift. You and I are turning the page. The wait is over. Your winter is ending. Your real story starts today. And that huge blessing I built for you long before you even felt worthy is working right through your front door. Work beside me now. Lean into my voice. The season of waiting is fully behind you. Your breakthrough is here. Type Amen and stand with me today saying nothing will ever shake our deep trust in God. Share this video to bless someone.